Hello everybody, Glass Half Dead here, and today we are going to look at my first Kill Team Arena game. As you can see, I was playing Tau, and I was playing Genestealer Cults. Now, I'm going to have to apologise in advance for how much grey you're about to see in this video. As you can tell, I'm working on my Genestealer Cults at the moment, and I really wanted to get an arena game in so that I could talk to you guys about it, and also just because I wanted to play it, see what it was like. And so all of the terrain is in its standard silver. Wrong way. Okay, looking at the Tau team first. This guy here with the command rod, whatever that is the leader. The guy with the fusion blaster is a heavy. The guy with the rail rifle is comms, and my man here with the ion rifle is a sniper. Yeah, so that he can reroll ones if he ever goes heavy and wrecks face. Behind him we have two breachers, two fire warriors, and a recon drone. Easy. Genestealer Cults. Let's see. Our guy here with the outstretched hand and the bolt pistol, sorry. That counts as a chainsword. Actually, no, in this list it counts as a power club, sorry, which gives him +2 strength. That's our leader. The flamer here is a demo. The hybrid the acolyte hybrid with the rock saw that isn't coloured in, so it's just the standard grey, is combat, and the one over here with the lighter grey saw is a zealot. Behind them we have 1, 2, 3. They're just standard neophytes. They all have shotguns though. Note shotguns. The guy back here is Genestealer. Then here we have two acolyte fighters with rock cutters, and this here is an acolyte. No, sorry, it's a hybrid metamorph leader, just with the standard loadout. And here we see them from above. As you can tell, I may as well mention it now. I'm converting these guys to look like lizardmen because that's what I want to do apparently, and that's why the Genestealer is just a standard lizardman with no conversion, because that's like just me, it makes sense. And here is the top down of the Tau. Oh yes, and so I was also, while I was playing this game, using these new objective markers and tokens that I found, and also this new victory point, command point, and turn tracking dial. I got all of those from wartile.com. It's a Polish company. They didn't pay me or anything. I wish, but I just think that they're really vibrant. They come in both blue, green, and red. And there you go. If you like the look of them, go check them out. Ideally, I've put some text on the screen so that you can actually see, and maybe even linked in the description. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be that with it. But yeah, I think they're nice, vibrant counters, and there you go. Okay. Now, for those of you unaware, when you play Kill Team Arena, each map also allows you to pick from, I think it's 5 different secondary objectives, which are called arena objectives. The Genestealer Cults here picked these 3: cut apart, death from afar, and engage on all fronts. I'll read them to you, don't worry. So, cut apart. At the end of the fight phase, score 1 VP if one or more models from your kill team made an attack that took an enemy model out of action in that phase. Now, I think that's a pretty obvious choice, as almost all of my team are melee focused. Yes, makes sense. Death from afar. Now, this was an odd choice, but I'll explain it. When a model from your kill team makes a shooting attack at long range that takes an enemy model out of action, score 1 VP. I don't have much shooting here. I'm aware of that. But all of the shotguns are 12-inch range, which means if I'm shooting over 6 inches, that could count for death from afar. And you never know. I might be taking pot shots. Equally, the flamer, even though it's an auto-hit weapon, so we never really care about it, it's an 8-inch range, so if I'm shooting it over 4 inches, I get a death from afar kill. I thought that was a pretty good choice, if I'm honest. And then we get engage on all fronts. Divide the battlefield into 4 equal rectangles, a corner of each of which meets the others in the center of the battlefield. At the end of the battle round, score 1 VP if there is at least one model from your kill team other than shaken models wholly within each of these rectangles. Now, for anybody unaware, you can only score these 3 objectives 3 times each. So let's say I killed, for cut apart, let's say I killed one of their models in each round of the game, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I would still only be able to score it in turn 1, 2, and 3. And as an absolute maximum amount, with secondary objectives, you can only ever score 9 victory points throughout the entire game. Also, these are hidden objectives. And once you score one, you score it immediately. Well, no, when you score it, you turn it over, and then your enemy can see what that secondary objective is. Let's check out the Tau. So they have scout the field, domination, and engage on all fronts. A quick note, we see death from afar here. You may have thought, it's a shooting based skill or victory point generator. However, you have to be over half range. Most of my guns here are 30-inch range, and there aren't many times when you're going to be shooting at over 15 inches in Kill Team Arena. So it wasn't a goer. Anyway, scout the field. At the end of the battle round, score 1 VP if there are models from your kill team, other than shaken models, within 1 inch of at least 3 different battlefield edges. Models wholly within your deployment zone do not count unless they are within 1 inch of a battlefield edge that does not extend beyond your deployment zone, in which case they only count for 1 battlefield edge. That's weird, isn't it? Anyway, domination. At the end of the battle round, score 1 VP if more models from your kill team are within 3 inches of the center of the battlefield than there are enemy models within 3 inches of the center of the battlefield. And then they also have engage on all fronts, which we already covered in the Genestealer Cults. There you go. And here is deployment. We see we have the 4 objectives. So this is, if you have Kill Team Arena, this is the first mission as played on the Generatorium map. It's the first of the 2 missions that you can play on here. You've got 4 objectives. Scoring is very simple. If you hold 1 objective or more, you get 1 VP. If you hold 2 objectives or more, you get 2 VP. If you then hold more objectives than your opponent, you score another victory point. Now, as you could tell, I wasn't quite sure what to do with these guys. In hindsight, I would have put a few of these guys down here, and the stealth suits could have definitely gone there. It would have just eased up this little corridor a smidge, especially since those are the fast movers, they can kind of zip around a bit. But it was my first ever arena game, so let's see what happens. Ah, yes. So this is a little bit of a dice of shame moment. Genestealer Cults, they have Cult Ambush, which means after you've deployed, but before you roll for initiative, you roll a d6 for each of your models, and on a 5 or a 6, you can make up to a 6-inch move with them. I only rolled a 5 or 6 with a single model, who is this one right here, so he was completely stuck. That was the most useless Cult Ambush ever. And that was just a dice of shame picture. Otherwise, the guy that's here obviously opened the door. One of these guys moved up, opened a door with my leader there. The intention being that he's going to camp the objective for the whole game. Now, this is after everybody's moved. I think everyone in my Genestealer Cults team advanced, apart from the 2 guys that opened doors. That's fine. This guy here, the Genestealer, actually rolled a 12, so he was moving a colossal 14 inches, and he could have come out here, but I kept him just out of line of sight from this fire warrior, make sure he couldn't get shot. Again, this guy here, I think that's my leader actually. He made a tremendous charge all the way up there. Brilliantly done. But I didn't open the door because I didn't know what was coming. So yeah, there you go. I think that's about it. On the Tau side, basically the first turn is exactly the same for both teams. You almost cannot engage on turn one, so everybody just advanced to try and get into positions. There you go. This is now the end of turn two. As we see the little door opener back here, camping the objective. The way this worked up here is I had this guy charge first, possibly, I can't remember, and he just failed the charge, so I didn't want to move him around. I then charged with my Genestealer. Genestealer made it, and because he was charging from around the corner, it was a long charge. Didn't think he was going to make it, so I didn't use the ultra close confines Overwatch tactic. So he got in without being overwatched. This guy then, the Metamorph leader, made a charge and didn't make it, but I moved him up anyway because this one Tau Breacher is in combat. But I figured, screw it, why not? Equally here, we've got a standard shotgun guy and a rock cutter. After this was a successful charge, they moved up on the advance, planning to pile in here, capture three, maybe use up, jump around there, get the fusion gun. Who knows? The leader opened the door, and then the flamer moved up. The intention, of course, being to flame my man here, potentially. So the flamer, the demo flamer, could have moved up further. However, I wanted to keep him over 4 inches so that I could possibly get death from afar. These guys, if we look where they were before, I really wanted to make the charge, but let's think what happened. No, yeah. So Genestealer Cults moved first. That's too long to make a charge, and if I'd moved them up, they'd have stopped there. They'd have been taking a full load of fire next to in the shooting phase, so it was crazy. So I just moved them out here. There you go. Tau, conversely, pretty much just people moving around. Now we see here, I have a breacher left back here, and I also have a breacher here, and I have these guys here. That means they are now actually they are in position to take engage on all fronts or scout the field. I can't remember which one. That's why the breacher stayed back here. Obviously, he would have been more help in the fight if he'd advanced up, but I went for the VP instead. My leader here, bit of a poor choice on my part. The leader would have been better in combat. Instead, I decided to make him hold down the objective. At this point, both teams are holding 2 objectives. I don't really know why I zoomed in on this. Probably just to remind myself. But I already said it. The Genestealer is in combat with only the Breacher. The other 2 are still out of combat. Okay, and the fusion gun must have readied, and he one-shot the Flamer. So the Genestealer Cult's grand vision of actually getting a death from afar kill down the crapper, unfortunately. Now, at this point, my leader, who opened the door, cannot then move for the rest of the turn. I believe he could have shot, but I think I forgot to shoot with him. So, okay, combat occurred. Genestealer did what he's meant to do, and then moved in to occupy the other 2, so they are now in combat. I'm not yet contesting objective 3 though. So at the end of turn 2, this is how it's looking. I've lost a Flamer. I somehow have 5 victory points. We're hitting turn 3. I've got 5 CP. Now, the reason I have so many CP here is because I wasn't using my tactics, because I had a huge wad of 18 different ones. I did the occasional reroll, that was it. 18 tactics is too many. I didn't know what I was doing. At this point, I believe I didn't get any death from afar. I got 1 cut apart when I killed the Tau Breacher, and I am not yet getting engaged on all fronts. So, you see here, Genestealer Cults have 5 VP, 5 CP. Tau actually have exactly the same. We haven't yet hit anything particularly interesting. we're only just getting engaged. Oh yes. So this is beginning of turn 3, and my man here, my metamorph leader, failed a charge. Yeah, he rolled a 3 for that charge. Like, ugh, that's painful. I think I even re-rolled it. That and I on the re-roll I got a 3 again. That's how bad that was. Ha. Yeah, so this was a terrible turn of charges. So these guys both attempted to charge, and again I got 3s. Neither of them could have made the charge. Pretty embarrassing. And of course I'd already spent my CP, so couldn't re-roll. They don't have any natural re-roll like Genestealer does. What can I say? What can I say? Oh, and yes, I put the tape measure down so that you can see what the actual charge I needed was. What would it be? I would have needed a 5 probably for that. Maybe a 6 to get over that. Maybe a 7. Either way, I didn't make it. It's pretty bad. Now this must be the end of turn 3, beginning of turn 4. So, am I going to zoom in? Yes, I am. Okay, so these guys finally make a kill here. Great. It did take all 3 of them making that shot to finally get the kill, but it happened. But of course, notice we are well within all of those guns' half ranges, so taking death from afar wouldn't have been a good choice with Tau. The rock cutter works its magic there on the fusion gun stealth suit, as you would hope it does. I mean yeah, that's literally the only thing it can do, and it did it. Good. Okay. So yes, if we look now, this guy, the rock cutter acolyte, is in this board corner, which means I am now getting engaged on all fronts. So with this turn, I would have taken cut apart and engage on all fronts. Still no death from afar though. Okay, I think this is turn 4 now. These 3 finally got this kill. So Tau moved first in this one. Otherwise, of course, this charge would have been easy. Didn't happen. They moved, they got the kill. I don't know why he didn't charge. That's one for the mystery books, ladies and gentlemen. I've got no clue. But either way, they are now capping objective 2. We see the overview. Yeah, these guys just taking pot shots at these 2. And up here. Oh yeah, so I actually had both my Genestealer and my Metamorph leader, who gets 4 attacks, by the way. Up here. Did not manage to kill Fire Warriors. It was pretty embarrassing, just fluffing all my rolls. I got a flesh wound on this one, but that's it. And subsequently, in turn, they got a flesh wound on my leader. And then they killed my leader, apparently. And got a flesh wound on the other skinky boy here, whatever, neophyte hybrid. Here we go. Finally got a kill of the Fire Warrior up there. Final turns, this guy doesn't actually get a shooting attack at their enemy leader there. And that's it, I think. Oh yes, this is another game that I took a picture of just to prove that I played against some Grey Knights. In this particular one, I'm not going to go over it. Basically, the enemy Justicar perils himself, and that let me win. And then in this second game, he absolutely dominated me. It was insane. I made a lot of mistakes, to be fair, like just bad tactical decisions. But yeah, he just swept through, wrecked my face. And we finish on a lovely little video. So let's take a look, shall we? So just before we start it, we see end of turn 4. All arena games are finished turn 4. I had 5 CP still, wasn't using my tactics. 13 victory points. I think that ends up being 13 to 7 victory points. But yeah. Oh, the frame rate on this is beautiful. Jesus Christ. 8. Okay, so 13 to 8 VP. Yeah. Yeah. Took so much work to kill one Fire Warrior. Luck of the dice. And that's it. there you go, everybody. This has been a long rundown. I'm not going to add too much more because this genuinely has been a really long video for me to just sit here and talk. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you, I don't know, if you have played Arena yourself, what do you think of it? My Grey Knight opponent actually found it really enjoyable, and so did I, actually. I realise it's not nearly as cinematic, and of course, you lose out on all that great looking terrain. I know it sucks a bit, but as just a game, this is just as fun, if not more so, actually. But yes, as a narrative cinematic experience, it just doesn't have what regular Kill Team has. But yeah, as a game, this works really well. And so actually props to GW for making a fun little competitive expansion. I am going to be doing more arena games. I don't know when exactly, but I am. Or you guys let me know. Do you not care about arena? Do you just want to see narrative? You want to see cool terrain, well painted terrain and figures of just random stuff? Or do you like this slightly more competitive spin that G-Dubs has given us in arena? Let me know in the comments below, all that stuff. Like, subscribe, hate me as much as I hate myself. Impossible, trust me. Anyway, glass half dead. Hope you've enjoyed my rundown. Logging off. Hope you've had a great day. Whatever it is I normally say, I don't know.